What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal.
Have you ever imagined a situation when you are called into a room and then cameras are being lined up in front of you and you are being told how ungrateful and disrespectful you've been? Have you ever imagined this kind of situation? Well, I'm guessing that was what Volodymyr Zelenskyy of Ukraine got when he sat down with the American President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. They told him to his face how a bad boy he has been and how unappreciative he is in front of all the cameras. It's like those days in school when you are being a naughty child and then in front of everyone during morning assemblies, your teacher will call you out and then scolded at you in front of the whole school so that let everyone see that you are being really, really naughty. I have never thought that a day would come when we would see something like this on live TV. Leaders of countries going at each other's neck. I have never thought that. Even for us Africans, this is too much. and I can assure you, our politics in Africa can be very, very chaotic. And let's be clear. Ukraine did not start this war. Russia invaded Ukraine. Even though Ukraine might have said things or done things that might have provoked Russia. And not without America's backing. They use Ukraine to kind of like weaken Russia. And now they are just tossing Ukraine aside. They are just making it look like Ukraine wanted this war all by themselves. No. For those who have been following this thing from day one, will know that Ukraine did not start it, even though Ukraine was used as a pawn. That Ukraine was being used as a pawn by NATO. And if you're watching this, you'll be asking yourself, what about Taiwan? Because they tell us every day how they are a strong supporter of Taiwan. But if people are not seeing what is going on in Ukraine and how Ukraine is being treated by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, what about Taiwan? What if China decided to invade Taiwan? would they back Taiwan, or would they just fit Taiwan as a bone to China? How will all this play out? Has anyone given it a thought? Has anyone done that? So I want us to watch this war of words from two leaders. And I also want you to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if this is what we should be expecting from a leader like the one of the United States. And also tell me if this should have been the case had it been Ukraine did not let itself be used as a pawn in this whole chess game. So let's watch.
With both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
What makes America a good country is that America fights for what they think benefits them. I just hope that people understand this. America doesn't just do things from the goodness of their own heart. Sometimes, right, when I was way more younger, I used to have so much respect for America. I used to think that America was that country, or is that country that would come and fight for the little guy. I used to think that America was that country, or is that country that would stamp out injustice. But when I grew up and I understand how American foreign policies work, I came to realize that they only fight for what benefits them. And if something doesn't benefit them, they will destroy it. That is how they operate. They come to Africa. They take out leaders who do not give them what they want. And they protect those who let them take away every single thing they want. So America is not that good cop. America is not that shining armor like most people might think. If you don't believe me, maybe we should ask Libya. We should ask Libya. What happened to Libya? We should ask Libya. And how Colonel Muammar Gaddafi thought that he could somehow appease them. But how wrong was he? How wrong was he? I am guessing Muammar Gaddafi will be rolling in his grave, swallowed in his own vomit of regrets. So, let's not confuse ourselves for a second, thinking that America was doing all this to Ukraine because they were just a very nice entity and they don't want to see Ukraine being taken over by Russia. That was not the case. Don't get it confused. America or American foreign policy always put America first. It's never about you. It's never about me. It is what America wants. Period. Let's continue.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied it, our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was,
he killed.
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president, in 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President.
It's funny, right? And I don't understand this whole strategy where you put your allies in front of the media and you grill them. Maybe Trump think that this is a very effective strategy to like call out your allies and castigate them on the internet or on the media. I don't know how it works, but maybe it works for him because I think that this is something they would have talked it behind the scenes rather than just making Ukraine look weak in an ongoing or in the process of negotiation. If Russia gets this information from the America, which they will get, and they know that even the Americans are thinking like Ukraine is too weak, do you think they will accept a peace deal now? Or do you think they will change their position or something like that? Because if I were Russia, I would do the same. If I know my enemy is weak, and even his friends are talking about it, then why would I make it easy for them to have a peace deal? Why would I? Why not just change my position and then push the line a little bit, just get for more and more out of the deal? Why not? You see. So I don't understand why JD has to go this far in front of the media and saying how Ukraine is weak. And let's be clear, okay? Ukraine is corrupt. They are so corrupt. And I think that they let themselves be pushed into all this. this whole NATO membership or EU membership or whatever, let them be dragged into this thing. Now, I'm not saying that Russia is right, because every country has the right to dictate their own policies and whatsoever. But sometimes you need to consider who your neighbors are before making the kind of deals you want to make, aka Taiwan. Taiwan must always consider China's position before making any kind of foreign policy or defense deal. Same like you have Mexico. Mexico must consider their neighbors and their neighbors' position or feelings before they make any deal. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but that's the reality. That is the reality. So let's continue.
Seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
So what would thank you actually mean anything? You know, it's funny to see adults, especially leaders, talking about someone saying thank you to them. Like, what has that got to do with anything? Like, I mean, are they children? I mean, I understand that children would want someone they did something for to say thank you, right? For them to have a certain kind of satisfaction. But not from leaders. Not from leaders who understand how the real world works, right? I mean, it's so strange to hear JD saying that, has Zelenskyy ever said thank you? Thank you for what? Like, what is JD talking about? This is crazy, man. This is really, really crazy. Oh no, have you ever said thank you to us for being there for you? Sorry for me laughing, right? But I'm just like, I have never seen a situation where leaders would sit in front of the cameras and one person will be like, you are very disrespectful, you don't have the cards are not on your side, or you don't have enough cards to play, or the game is against you, or the tide is against you. And another one will be like, yeah, we know you are failing, you are having problems, this and that, but remember, you've never said thank you to us for all the things we've done for you. And I'm like, what? Thank you? What? Like what? But to be honest, Zelenskyy has said thank you. He has said it. He might not have said it to Trump, but he has said it thank you to America. He has said it. But the problem is, JD is just being angry that Zelenskyy is fighting back. You know, the thing that gets Trump angry the most is when you call him out on some of the BS he said. He hates it. If you call him out, he's just going to go full wild on you. He hates it. He likes it when he said something, you just sat quietly and listen. Whether it be true or not is immaterial to him. He just wants people who listen and then keep quiet. But since Zelenskyy wouldn't take that from them, that was when this whole fiery exchange just got out of control. Let's continue.
To save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
Except
times
that there,
thank you
except
to
that-
American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
Let me be clear. Obama gave shit and I gave you javelins. You see where the problem comes from, right? That is why I said from the very beginning that if you are dealing with America, you have to be very careful. You really have to be very careful, because as quickly as they are able to arm you when they need you for a certain purpose, so as quickly they will be able to discard you when that purpose is fulfilled or no longer be what they want. They arm Ukraine. They push Ukraine. They make Ukraine feel emboldened. And Ukraine thought that somehow it could stand Russia. And then they went all in on it. Now, Russia wasn't making it easier for themselves. That is true. But the way the Americans are talking, Donald Trump is talking right now, it makes it look like this whole thing is Ukraine's fault. But it's not. Is it? It's not. So people have to be careful. So countries need to be watchful. That's what I would say. Countries need to be very, very watchful when dealing with America. Let's watch the remaining part of it.
Ceasefire. What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do we do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is...
I feel so sorry for the guy. You know, if this is how being a leader has to be, then I think I don't want to be one. You know, I don't want to be in a position where I'm being told not to talk. Just be quiet and listen. Don't talk. You are being very disrespectful here. Remember, they invited him and they brought all these things onto the camera. And I'm guessing this was all planned. It was all on purpose. They wanted the whole world to see how disrespectful they claim he is. Or better still, they did not know he was going to fight back. So they thought he was going to sit there and just swallow whatever they say. I'm guessing that was their take. But he wasn't going down not swinging, isn't it? He fought back. He disagreed with them. And that just broke things into pieces. I would say this, right, especially to us and our African leaders. America can be a good place. They can have all these fancy laws in their books. They can use all these nice words like democracy, like rule of law, like human rights. They like to, swing it here and there. But they themselves, practicing what they preach, is an entire story altogether. They don't practice what they preach. They just push it down the throat of other people. And if you ever thought that they doing something in Africa was for the sake of African people, you are terribly, terribly mistaken. Now, I'm not saying they are not good people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, if you thought that the whole foreign policy in Africa was for the benefit of the Africans, that is where you are mistaken. It is not for Africans. It has never been for them. It is just for what America stands to gain. And this whole issue in Ukraine is letting us see what American foreign policy is really about. When it happened in Libya, I was really disappointed. I was totally disappointed. And when I saw a video where African leaders were just making a mockery of the whole situation, I was really, really depressed. I think it was the president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, who went on the AU floor to say that when the whole thing in Libya was ongoing, they wanted to see Gaddafi. They wanted to have a conversation with Gaddafi. And they were told by NATO not to go. And what did they do? They came back. They just turned around and came back. And everyone was just laughing. I was like, come on, guys. Come on. You guys are leaders. How can you guys be joking with things like this? This is very shameful, This is really, really shameful. I just hope and pray that African leaders wake up and realize that American foreign policy wasn't crafted for Africans. It wasn't. It was for what America will gain or will benefit in Africa. Please, let's be clear about this.